Yo, yo, Jim.
Oh, and now he shows up. Now that Bitcoin's
Yeah,
candle's green, it's almost 70K. He's like, yeah, let's go ahead and get it started. What's up, man?
had to,
GM.
had to. Yeah, GM fella. Sorry, it's a little bit late there, but ready to get into it. We
Oh,
doing on this fine Monday morning?
you're all good, man. Just catching up. Enjoying the green charts. We had a moment of silence for Warren Buffett before you got here. It was nice.
Yeah, poor Warren. Is he? What happened? Is he? I mean, I saw the thing. Did he
Ah,
die?
no, no, I'm sorry. Fuck, I'm just kidding. Holy shit. Oh, it was just quiet in here. It was silent as fuck while we were
Let's
waiting
say
for
he's
you.
like old as fuck. I mean, he couldn't die.
Yeah, that's not really something you can play around with when somebody is what, over 80. That's yeah. Good call. My bad. Yeah, he's fine.
Yeah, I
Everyone,
saw the
no one
doc,
dump
but
your portfolios. You're fine. Yeah, allegedly just a glitch.
yeah. I wonder if anyone actually was able to buy at that price. That'd be pretty insane.
That would be wild. Not in those markets, man. They just roll it back. Maybe that's why I was asking why BNB was pumping. Maybe this is it, man. Maybe this is the where people's perception flips and they're like, wow, stocks suck. Crypto's the move. Definitely not hopium.
We're hoping so. Uh, we're getting that point here pretty soon. We get,
Shit keeps getting
I'm ready when
weird.
you are. Do it.
All right, cool. Yeah. I'll go ahead and just give the if anyone's doing D1 rally here in 6 minutes.
Ciao.
Yeah, man. Cool. Yeah, let's get it kicked off. GM everybody. And welcome back. Jake and myself. We had took a week off. I felt like a month off, man. There's just so much shit. I was like looking at like just like news articles and announcements that happened since last time that we had the show, and it's been so much. So excited to get caught up here, man, and have you give us some perspective and ground us again, give us some targets and stuff to look for and figure out what's going on for the week. So without further ado, let's go ahead and go and jump in, man. Jake, how you doing, brother?
Yeah, man. It has been. It's like I don't know. I feel like it's been a few weeks now since both of us were here for the show.
I know.
Um,
Gotta catch each other.
but yeah, I think we came back at a right time. I'd say. Yeah, I was gone for the last 9 or 10 days. Did a little trip to Europe with the fiance and her family. Hit up Dublin and France and Monaco and Rome all in a short amount of time. It was a lot of traveling, but it was a great time. Nice little touching grass break, and now I'm feeling rejuvenated, ready to get back after it. And hopefully the market is ready to get rolling at the same time here.
Beautiful, love it, man. Yeah, go out, touch some grass. Got that done. Check that off. So let's go ahead and touch on the market, man. What are you seeing? Hit us with macro. What's going on?
Yeah, we had a pretty nice start to the morning, as well as a good Sunday. We're back up, touched above 70K. I think a few hours ago. Um, Dipped it back a little bit. Now we're on 69.5 at the moment as we're talking. It's looking pretty good. There's some there's a lot going on in general with the market. We can kind of touch on the roaring kitty stuff in a second. I want to focus on Bitcoin, ETH to start off. I think right now it's looking good. I'd say I feel like I've said this for the last few times, and it's just like we've kind of got faked out. And it remained in the chop, but and we haven't moved much over the last few weeks in terms of price. Oh, we're like close, man. It's like we're edging. We're just needing just a little bit higher here to really confirm the bullish bias and break out. I think once we are able to get, I think a key level right now that I'm looking at is above 71K. That's based on Web3 Quant. Earlier today, I'm sharing his tweet, which basically says, "Don't let the sideways boring PA price action shake you out." Bitcoin closing above 71K, and it's on. All meme coin charts are like beach balls underwater, which means they're ready to pop up at any moment if Bitcoin lets them. And we've seen that start off a bit over the past 24 hours where things like Pepe and Bonk and Whiff over the last weekend has done pretty decent. But right now we're kind of just like hoping, at least I'm kind of hoping that we get above that 71K level, and I think we look really good. I think if you want to be even more conservative, you can just wait for above like 74K all-time high break. And then we're closes above there, and then we're out of this range. We've been in for I think over 100 days, like more than a few months now. And once you break out of a range for that long, that kind of consolidation for that long, then it's usually a pretty jarring move, whichever way it goes. And if it does go up, then I think we go up quick. I think around high 80s, 90K would probably be the next level we'd be looking for on Bitcoin. So I think if you want to be conservative and wait a bit and wait till all-time high, I think that's perfectly fine way to play it. If you want to get more aggressive, I think above 71K is a really good spot to start looking to take on a little bit more risk if you're willing to. But right now it's kind of like we're almost there. We just need a little bit more to go. Hopefully we get that within the week. So yeah, that's what I'm looking at for Bitcoin stuff right now. I can share also the ETF report for Bitcoin. Just posted voice hangout again. We've had green inflow days every day for the past, I think, few weeks now. Last week was a bit muted. That was also a Memorial Day weekend or week, I should say. So a lot of people are on vacation last week, as I said, myself included. So I think in general, that's historically kind of a lower volume week for the stock market. Hopefully, people back, we start ripping again with these, and we get some nice inflows into these ETFs this week. So that's where we're looking at for Bitcoin. I'll stop there for a second.
Awesome. Yeah. Appreciate the levels. Always good to know what the targets are. So appreciate that. If anybody wants to jump in, any Bitcoin questions, anything, now'd be a great time.
Just a quick shout that also over the weekend saw a ton of volume coming into Runes and had some paper ordinal stuff. You'll hear later with some more MVHQ sponsored programming, but great to have you boys both back. And as always, love to see the bullish Bitcoin during Wake and Jake.
Yes, sir. Great shout. I can't wait for boss dogs, man. I've been seeing these tweets. I saw a dog to the moon or whatever, like just hit a new all-time high. Once again, just I think less than an hour ago, I saw a tweet about that. So seems like things are heating up over in the Rune streets. So excited to hear what you guys' take is. We can transition quick to ETH before I get to the Roaring Kitty stuff. We didn't have show. I think the ETF stuff I think it was 2 weeks ago on that Monday. It was like just within a couple hours after our show concluded, we had the shocking, news that it was probably going to get approved. Things were changing. I remember sharing 2 weeks ago on the show the Poly Market betting site for if you wanted to bet if the ETF was going to get approved by the end of May. I think it was like a 6% chance or something on Poly Market. And then within hours, that shot up to like a 70% chance or so. And it has been approved now. We saw a giant candle. I think it was the single biggest gain for ETH in terms of number wise. I don't think percent wise, but number wise ever on that Monday. And since then, we've kind of just been ranging for ETH around between 3,700 and 3,900 area. Yeah, it remains to be seen. I don't really have a strong take either way on ETH stuff right now. I do think it probably will do well, considering just what happened with Bitcoin leading up to the ETF approval for Bitcoin, and there's just so much less time than what Bitcoin was to prepare, I guess, for the ETH stuff that I think maybe once we get some more deadlines around when those ETFs are actually going to be coming in, then we'll get some more bullish inflows to ETH in general. So right now, I'd say I personally like ETH over the next few months, but we might get a little, once we get like the range break from Bitcoin might dominate for a little bit, and then ETH comes up. That's kind of my prediction. I don't really have a ton on ETH stuff right now, but I just wanted to touch on that briefly since we hadn't touched on it in previous shows, we didn't have a show last week.
Yeah, appreciate that. I was going to definitely ask about the ETH ETF stuff. The inflows, are these something that you'll monitor similar to how you do with Bitcoin, or is it less important for ETH, or how does it sort of stack up there?
Yeah, I think it's super important still. It's actually, so there's some, oh man, I wish I had this. I shared this. So if anyone could find it, I share or like link me. I shared this in voice hangout chat, I think like a week ago or so. But it was a really good tweet kind of summarizing what to expect around the ETH ETF stuff. And so I'll try and find it after the show if no one's able to right now. But it's basically kind of gave out a game plan of like what happens with it, like how long it should probably take, what needs to be done, and basically it's very similar to the Bitcoin stuff where there is a lot of grayscale ETH locked up into their product that would also need to be dumped, kind of similar to Bitcoin. So we're probably going to see something along those lines where there is going to be quite a bit of outflows at the same time as there's going to be quite a bit of inflows for outflows from that grayscale product that has it's just an inferior product. It's going to have much higher fees than what these new ETFs will have. So people will naturally want to, get out of that and get into a new one, or just in general sell because they haven't been able to sell until these new ETFs go live for trading. So that'll be interesting to see that dynamic and see if it plays out similar to how the Bitcoin inflows outflows played out when it first launched. But I think right now, I've seen analysts predict that it's probably going to be around like 15, 20, 25% of the volume of what Bitcoin ETF was, which Bitcoin ETF was still like insane, massive volume for ETFs as far as they go. Just in general compared to other new ETF launches, it was pretty. I think it was pretty substantial, and it blew out like most of the most bullish targets. So even 25% of that, 20% of that for ETH, given that ETH is a much smaller market cap, that's going to be a pretty good. It's going to be pretty big pressure in terms of like how much buy pressure there is going into ETH price, and I think that's going to be. I mean, it's hard to say it's anything but like very, very bullish in general for ETH. I think the only big thing around ETH stuff right now is that I don't know if this is going to get baked in. I don't know the exact specifics. If someone else does, I'd love to hear more about it. But I know there's something around like how you can't have, staking within these ETH ETFs. So it's kind of like inefficient to have these ETH ETFs, unlike Bitcoin, where there's no like native staking. ETH, on the other hand, like you're kind of losing out on a lot buying these ETFs. You're not getting the interest from staking. So I think there's debate along. We might get less than what we normally would, given that it's not like the most EV play. It's not like flat EV compared to how Bitcoin is. If you just buy Bitcoin and hold the ETF, like you're kind of losing out by not holding or by not staking your ETH if you're holding these long term. But that's kind of some of the nuance that goes along with the ETF stuff. And I think right now we're kind of just waiting on more information in terms of like when these are actually going to go live. I think if we get something within the next, indication that it's coming within like the next month or so, that would be probably ahead of predictions. I'm seeing right now around like August, September is what people are thinking. But we really don't know at the moment. So yeah, it's kind of just like a wait and see game on when these actually are going to launch.
Beautiful. Awesome. Yeah, appreciate the answer, man. Thank you. If anybody else has any regarding ETF, again, now's a good time. Jump in.
I do want to pose the question to you, Jake and THC. What are your thoughts of with more banks getting involved in crypto? Do you think we see weirder price action moving forward? Notably, BlackRock already owns a huge portion of the Bitcoin supply. Do you think like the big players coming into the game sort of changes the narrative at all? I mean, it's still going to be decentralized, but what is decentralization when the banks are going to own a majority of it at some point?
Yeah, I don't know if like price actions are going to change a bunch. I think it'll still be pretty volatile. I think if anything, if it becomes like bigger and bigger asset class, then things like Bitcoin and ETH, then volatility could go down just given how much bigger they are. But yeah, sorry, I think I might have missed the last second of that or last part of that. I was going to get my coffee from the microwave and it was beeping, so I might have misheard the last half of what you said there.
No, that's all good, dude. That's pretty much it. I was just wondering your thoughts since banks are going to enter, and I mean they already own such a large portion of it. I would imagine they continue to buy more. So I was just curious your thoughts of like how that might change it. But I think you're saying less volatility makes sense, or sorry, not less volatility, but just like a more controlled movements.
I think it's good for price, and probably bad for the whole centralization ethos of crypto. Is kind of like the my short take on it.
We can't have nothing nice, can we, Ross? They come and take everything from us. They can't take the network, though. Well, I guess they could.
Bro, we got the keys though, so they can't take that from us.
Oh man, give quantum computing a few years.
All right, you're right. We can't have nice.
They'll take everything. Oh, okay, sorry. That's for another episode. Sorry. All right. Well, beautiful. Yeah, Jake was gonna. Yeah. Well, what else do we got, man? So we're squared away on macro and ETFs. So I guess topics for the week, stuff to look out for, or any big news items that sort of caught your attention you want to talk through.
Yeah, we got to talk about the main topic for sure, which is Roaring Kitty. Once again, yesterday, just for a quick debrief, if anyone has been paying attention, I think like yesterday evening he posted on Reddit for the first time since 2021. That, and of course, you don't know. Sorry, Roaring Kitty is the person who was kind of behind the whole GameStop, liquidating the shorts, meme coin, meme stock explosion back in 2021. They made a whole movie on him, who he's the main character. Anyway, very influential. He posted again. For the first time, an absolutely massive position. I think it was over like $200 million worth, maybe just shy of $200 million worth of GameStop calls. Just a giant position. Basically, I think I saw it expires in like 2 weeks, I believe. And I think he needs the price to be about like 25. I think it was like 25.50 or something for him to break even. So really just put his nuts on the line. And of course that kind of reinvigorated everyone. It's very interesting dynamic here because he came back already, right? Like 3 weeks ago. I think obviously many of us remember that if we've been paying attention, and just posted a bunch of videos nonstop. It was actually super annoying and eventually got pretty cringe, that he didn't actually say anything. He just kept posting like meme videos constantly for like a whole like 2 weeks or a week or so. And in that time, GameStop pumped to I think around like almost like $80, and then came all the way back down into the 20s. And I think a lot of speculation is that he basically like pump and dumped, had some calls during that time, posted the videos, and then sold, made a good amount of money, and now he's going for it again. So I think kind of the dynamic right now is, all right, I think everyone's trying to think about is like, all right, is this gonna be like the same thing as what happened a few weeks ago? Is he back for good? Is he just like pumping and dumping on us once more? We saw like pre-market GameStop go up like 150, 200%. I think it got up to like 44 or something like that pre-market. It opened at $40. It's currently around like 29 something. It's dumped like since open, which was 3 hours ago, from the stock market quite a bit. So now we're kind of just in like wait and see mode. I think there's a lot of the market, especially meme coins, meme stocks, are kind of hanging in the balance based on this. I think it'd be very bullish if we did see a continuation of GameStop price going back up and reaching, that previous level that it hit a few weeks ago when he was tweeting, and then even getting higher. I think, if we were able to see that continuation, then we see a lot of risk getting taken, a lot of retail coming back into the scene, making money from meme stocks. They kind of just gradually transition over to meme coins as well, and that'd be very good for the entire meme coin market and crypto in general, especially if Bitcoin rips at the same time. Then we'd be looking very, very good. But right now it's kind of like, all right, like it didn't work the first time. Is it going to work this, like first time a few weeks ago? Is it going to work this time? It's obviously different that he's like now showing what his position is, and it's absolutely massive. He's basically saying, "Hey, like buy this." But in my opinion, like, how do we play this? I guess is kind of what I'm thinking. You can play it by, if you want to play it in the crypto world, you can play it by buying the. Again, not financial advice. I'm just saying this is how you could play it if you wanted to play it. You could buy the Sol meme coins GME, which basically is like tracks pretty closely to actual GameStop's stock price. And there's also like the other derivatives like AMC, and I think there's a Kitty coin as well, a Roaring Kitty coin all on Sol. That you could kind of play as well, if you did buy into this whole GameStop thesis coming back, and that Roaring Kitty's gonna pump up the markets once again, and retail's coming back, and then I think those could be good short-term plays, if you did want to get involved. Again, not financial advice. I'm just saying that's how you would if you wanted to. But right now, I think I had this advice last time, and I'm going to give it again. Where I think it's probably the smart move is to wait a few days, and see if this continues. If this trend continues of GameStop price appreciation, Roaring Kitty actually has a big enough pull on the market where he's bringing retail back and getting people to buy into the GameStop narrative once more, and we see it not as like a flash in the pan, but this thing is gonna just repeat what it did in 2021. Then I think there's plenty of time to just like wait it out and like not get hurt like we did a few weeks ago if you were to buy like right away last time. So that's kind of how I'm looking at it. I think it's right now it's kind of wait and see mode once again. It's very similar to like what Bitcoin's doing right now. It's like we're almost there. There's almost time to be like full on bull, going crazy. Let's go, like push all my chips in. But we're not quite there yet. I want to see some actual continuation of the trend before we really get there. So yeah, it's going to be interesting next week. Hopefully, for all of our bags, it continues and does well, but we'll see. That's kind of my take right now on the Roaring Kitty stuff. Would love to hear other people's take though, if anyone's playing this or a different way than what I said. If anyone's playing the actual stock, if anyone's playing the opposite side of it, I'd love to hear.
Man, appreciate the full on know your meme level breakdown. That was excellent. I missed a lot of the GME stuff. I thought the deep fucking value. I thought he was the main character of that whole stuff. I haven't seen the movies and stuff, so this was very helpful.
Same person
to me. Same dude. Okay, cool. So Roaring Kitty is the same person. All right, that helps me so much because I thought I was in the fucking Twilight Zone. I'm like, who, what? Like I thought some dude just got his whole story taken. Okay, helpful. Thank you, man. My initial gut check is just a lot. It's a lot of power for one guy in a cat T-shirt. That's pretty wild times we're in. But would love to hear. Yeah, anybody in the audience, if you got any takes or follow-ups or how you're going to play this whole GME stuff. Love to hear about it.
Would love to chime in since I've spent way too much time researching it over the past couple of weeks. And I was talking to Jake a lot just in chat about like, do we actually think this is him? Is it not? It just seemed weird for him to disappear and come back. But there's a few things that have been going on in the background. So first and foremost, just want to shout out, if you want to look more into the GameStop stuff over the next couple days and weeks, I would really recommend going to the r/super stonk. Basically Wall Street Bets, towards the end of the GameStop saga in 2021, just got taken over with bots and shills and stuff like that. So Super Stonk is the dedicated subreddit to talk about GameStop, has been for the past 3 years. And they've, always held this thesis of a short squeeze incoming. And with Roaring Kitty coming back, it's interesting because the thesis is still that the shorts have not covered. So I did a lot of research, and apparently one thing that people point to in this community is these things called FTDs, which are failure to delivers. So essentially, if you're shorting a stock at some point, once your short expires, you would have to return that share. And the number of failure to delivers on GameStop is at pretty much an all-time high. At the same time, there's this new CAT, Consolidated Auditing Trail. Previously, those rules were very lenient for companies reporting and settling their shares after market hours. So as I'm sure many of you guys know, there's a lot of like over-the-counter trading, dark pool trading of stocks that happens. They just introduced a new law with CAT where you have to settle your stocks 1 day after trading. So with that being said, and with all these failure to delivers, it seems like these shorts from the original 2021 thesis of big banks went short, let's squeeze them, seems like they still haven't delivered. And part of the nuance of Roaring Kitty's position is that he's now adding option calls. Over the past 2 weeks, there's been about $20 million of calls on that June 21st $20 strike. And people were just like, holy shit, there's some whale buying it. So for him to come out and be like, that was me buying it is crazy. But what's further crazy is in this cringe tweet storm, he talks about calls being exercised to force these hedge funds to deliver. So if you buy a option contract, it basically entitles you the right to 100 shares of stock. You can exercise that contract anytime before expiration. So anytime before June 21st, Roaring Kitty can exercise his contracts and buy 100 shares of GameStop at $20 a share. So the fact that they're all now in the money and he has millions and millions and millions of shares he can exercise, he could cause a just insane chain of events where he exercises these calls, forces people to buy shares, causing the price to go up. And then dealers would have to rehedge and buy more stocks as the price goes up further. So that's kind of the catalyst. And I'm personally just super excited. I've been buying some June 21st calls just to play along. I mean, this is like a 3-year saga in the end game. So I hope that wasn't too rambly, but it's pretty interesting.
That was phenomenal, dude. Yeah, appreciate that. That was a really good catch up in context, setting the stage very nicely there. Appreciate that.
Yeah, that was amazing. Thank you. I appreciate that. I did not do that significant amount of research into it. So yeah, hit up Ross if you're trying to get up in the GME streets. You're making me bullish. I need to buy some apparently.
Next episode
yeah,
of Boss Dogs.
I think I saw that he had. I saw this 5% number. I can't remember exactly if it was like his position was like 5% of all GME stock out there. Is that accurate, or what was that number? Do you know, Ross?
Yeah, he's the I think it's either the 4th or 5th largest shareholder. He owns about 3% right now, but if he were to exercise all of his call options and actually buy shares, he would then own about 5% of the company.
Yeah, sounds like a legendary move if he does exercise. Even some of those and push the price up even more. That'd be amazing. Hopefully he knows what he's doing here. That's for sure. There's a lot of retail I know that's tailing him, and if retail makes some good money from this, I think that's gonna trickle down into they're going to take some more risk on other stuff, which will trickle down into crypto, kind of like what happened in 2021.
100%. I will add one final component is that since then, so when GameStop fell from $80 to 20, a lot of it was because GameStop passed a board agreement where they could issue, I believe, 45 million more shares of stocks and dilute GameStop. They also received approval to do that again later on. So since they already have sold, I think they already issued that dilution of shares. They basically cleared all of the debts on their book, and they now are just sitting on $2 billion in cash. I'm not sure what they're valued at today with the pump, but I think it's probably about 12 to 14 billion dollars. But what's interesting is they have this approval to do it again ahead of time. So if during the squeeze, if GameStop ever does reach these astronomical numbers of $100, $200 plus, the CEO can just continue to dilute the shares. And, I think the thesis further is just that all of these hedge funds and shorts who went short eventually with these new laws are going to have to deliver. I mean, we'll see. There's for sure going to be like Wall Street fuckery the entire way because they are going to try to bail these guys out if they can. But GameStop could theoretically dilute at these crazy high levels and then become a $30 billion company legitimately just by selling at a high level and just sitting on a shit ton of cash. So it's going to be crazy.
That is fucking wild. Talking about GameStop, like what? Does anyone actually like GameStop anymore? Like as a company or like product, It's crazy to me that they can benefit so much from this. It's like, I don't know. They should just be an innocent bystander as their stock is manipulated. But no, I feel it. Hey, man, yeah, they're cranking, hit the books quick, dilute. Yeah, I mean, I get it. But that's wild to me. That's like the only uncool part of the story is that GameStop is like winning because of all this.
Yeah, man. Wild. As I said, I think it's kind of wait and see mode right now. If you do want to try and be early and buy the dip, I think now would be the chance. But if you want to be a little more conservative, wait and see how this plays out for the next couple days here. Hopefully it goes in our favor here, DGen favor.
Yeah, hope it goes well for him, man. It would be a sad end to the story if Roaring Kitty has to end up working at GameStop to pay off his debts. Good shit. You wanna move on along to the next topic here? Keep it rolling.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
One thing I wanted to touch on was upcoming this week is a lot of stuff going on with Coinbase. They're releasing their much anticipated smart wallet to mainnet on Wednesday. That's June 5th. It's been talked about a long time now. I think the idea with the smart wallet is it's much easier for onboarding for people. I'm sharing a video from Saigar, who is formerly like the Azuki dev. He's working on a lot of the other stuff. I forgot I think he's like making a layer 2. I forgot what it was called.
Frame. And he came in here and he put us all on game with blobs.
Oh yeah, blobs. And he was shouting out Monad too. Remember? But anyway, here's a quick video basically of him testing it out. And you can see from the video that basically you just create a wallet using you don't need a browser extension or anything. It's basically you create the wallet. You can do so like on mobile or like on a Mac, and it'll basically save a passkey, which can also be linked to like Face ID or Touch ID. So you basically can like just log in real quick to your wallet with Touch ID, and you don't need to save a seed phrase anywhere. You probably should save still the passkey onto a written piece of paper. I guess the differences between the smart wallet and a normal wallet are it's not like an extension that you have to download or an app that you have to download or add to your browser. There's not a seed phrase. Obviously, this passkey thing, which is backed up to providers like Apple or Chrome or 1Password, and Coinbase doesn't have. It's not like a custodial wallet on Coinbase. Like they don't have access to the keys or the funds in your wallet. but you can also has the ability. I think what the big unlock here is, along with it being easier and like um, less obstacles for normies to get their wallet set up, is they can use it straight from their Coinbase balance. So you can kind of, I think you could connect it to like your normal Coinbase wallet or your normal Coinbase account, that's connected to your bank account, right? And you can basically pay for stuff using the smart wallet with your balance that's still on Coinbase itself. So I think that's kind of like the big unlock there, is that people can, upload or transfer over money from their bank account into Coinbase, so they don't have to worry about then setting up like a MetaMask account, and like saving their seed phrase somewhere, or getting it hacked from their computer. It's basically they can just take the money right from that Coinbase account, instead of having to worry about like the whole transferring and like hoping it doesn't go out into the void, and they lose all their money. I think is something that's very normal for us to think about, just like sending money to someone else. But I think for a normal person to be like, hey, like you just actually got to send it to this address and like hope that it shows up in a minute. I think is very worrisome for people, so not having to worry about that. And it's also something that like businesses can add quickly, as an option on their platforms, to like for someone to quick whip up a wallet on their platform. It'll be easier in that regard. So I think there's basically the whole premise around the smart wallet is that it's reducing barriers to entry for new people into the crypto world, which I think is in general a good thing as much as we can do. So I don't think it's going to be like any type of immediate huge bump anything, in terms of like price appreciation, like how can we gamble on this type thing, but more of a slow and steady, like this is a good primer if it ends up being something that can gain mainstream adoption. This is like a good vehicle to help with getting more people set up in a more secure way. Yeah, I'd love to hear any takes if anyone has like tried this out in like testing, or if they have any rebuttals on what I said.
I haven't got a chance to use it yet, but I was sort of shilling. Well, not shilling because you can't like invest in it or anything, but just talking about the immutable passport wallet a couple weeks ago, which is kind of a similar, like the ease of onboarding type deal. Do you know if this is built on Base by chance? Like the smart wallet?
So
okay.
Yeah, so you
Cool.
can use it on, I think on their site. It says here, let me link their site where there's info on it.
Yeah, I'm noticing a lot of
Alright.
similarities between this and the IMX one. Now, of course, this one has the benefit of being linked to your Coinbase, which is clutch. It's super handy. I didn't realize that, because even with the IMX one, like it's cool. Like you just sign with your Gmail, right? Like that's how it should be. Like it should be really quick and simple. Like use an Apple Pay or Google Pay or whatever. So they're both checking that box. But with the IMX one, you still have to like get funds in. So you need a MetaMask somewhere and like some way to like bridge and do all that stuff. But with this, that's so much easier that it, they obviously have the benefit of owning a centralized exchange, so they can make it really easy instead of like the click to buy with MoonPay bullshit. So yeah, that's phenomenal, man. This who knew the L2s, that was the onboarding was going to be the real thing that they solve. That's pretty crazy. This might be like a sort of like normie onboarding summer type deal. I'm sure more of these are going to roll out to just make it really easy, like one tap to get in and get set up. It's beautiful. I love it.
Yeah, so kind of along this, the Base is doing another on-chain summer. I think they did this I want to say it was last year, when I believe Base came out, a little bit after. They're doing like an on-chain summer where they're going to promote a bunch of stuff going on in Base, and they're following Blast's playbook, in they're doing like a hackathon type thing for about a month and a half, in June, where they're basically going to reward different projects that are building on Base. And I think there's like 8 different categories. There's about 200 ETH total in rewards, which honestly, like, I thought it would be more than that. It doesn't seem like that much. Especially if you're spreading it out to like 10 different projects. I think they said like there was like gonna be like 2 to 10 winners. I think really like the big thing for the project is like the marketing that comes from it, to have like Coinbase shilling you and giving you like the stamp of approval as a project. That's probably like the big um, driver. So I'm sure there's going to be some very quality projects that come out of this buildathon. I think really how a lot of people are playing this, I've seen some speculation around like, all right, it's going to be like base summer. And base has been certainly the biggest L2 in terms of like meme coin adoption and meme coin volumes. There's been some pretty big ones. I think Brett is like $1 billion meme coin. I'm not sure what it's at right now. There's been some other coins that have popped up. So I think, there's a lot of speculation that, more and more attention will shift over to base, considering the smart wallet will make it easier for normies to onboard and do stuff on base. Kind of how it's like quite easy for people to do that over on Solana right now with Phantom and being like basically free transactions or super cheap transactions. Same will be over on base, especially with the introduction of blobs. Like it can be pretty cheap to transact over there. So I think, there's definitely opportunity if you want to try to get ahead of things this on-chain summer and kind of go with this whole thesis of, all right, like the smart wallet's going to bring in the normies and make it easier. And like this on-chain summer is going to bring in quality projects. So if you want to get more and more involved in the base ecosystem, I think now could be a good time to really start digging. And I honestly, personally have not been super involved in base just because I've been so focused on like Blast and Solana and some other stuff. But it is something kind of like on my to-do list. I would love to hear from anyone who is in the base streets right now, if there's anything that they're looking at or getting into. I know there's some interesting projects, like maybe there's even some NFT stuff that pops up from this. I know, I think On-Chain Guys is the biggest one right now. There was a field report from, I honestly can't remember. I think it might have been Raga. Sorry if I'm butchering who it was. About bull case for On-Chain Guys. But yeah, so I think you can kind of play the meme coin streets, or start looking into these other protocols. There's also speculation around like the token for base. So if you want to basically using protocols, farming the token, that kind of thing. But yeah, I just wanted to shout out in general what's going on over there, because I think there's pretty good opportunity for base to continue growing. I don't think Coinbase is gonna let this fail in any significant way. So I'm sure there's going to be plenty of opportunity over on that chain for the next few months, especially considering they're doing some heavier promo around it.
Yeah, quick shout out
Mac,
on-chain guy. Yeah, my adopted brother, Mr. Mac Attack.
Sorry, Mac.
Cooked it. Dude, yeah, I'm with you. I haven't been really keeping up with base too much. I was there for on-chain summer, and I got fucking cleaned out. That shit was rug city. It was a nightmare. But yeah, I remember there was like a lot of excitement and stuff. It's like, oh, all these are going to cook. There's only 10 coins to choose from, and all 10 were rugs. It's like, ouch. But yeah, they've obviously bounced back, had a lot of volume and activity over there. But I'm not up to date current. So if anybody is super heavy into base, please let us know. I'm looking around. I got a couple Calamity artifacts, the free mints, like a mobile game coming to base soon. But that is all I've got. I'm not touching the meme coins, man. I think I held some Toshi for like 5 or 6 months and then got bored of it.
Yeah. And I really foamed the bag on Toshi. I was a big holder of that.
Man.
Yeah, plenty of opportunities out there. I don't really have any other talking points, anything major at the moment. That was kind of really just the Roaring Kitty stuff and macro was the kind of stuff I wanted to focus on for this week. I think we're at a very, hopefully what I'm hoping is like a breaking point here. We can get out of this range and actually start ripping up again. And hopefully we don't just continue to bounce around this range for the rest of the summer.
Man, nobody wants a sideways summer. I hear you. Couple quick, just off the top of the head, we got in chat here. Just a reminder: MVP, newest MVP, Mr. Seth, Corruption, 2-time MVP. Congrats, man. Well deserved. Really happy for you. Also, another shout out: if you won the Tycho whitelist from our app, the mint is live. You'll need to bridge over like $2 over to Tyco for the gas fee, but you can use Orbiter for that. And you can also bridge from like Base or Arbitrum or wherever. So there's like no big cost to that. But yeah, get that mint in if you got it.
Yeah, absolutely mint that if you can. It's free. It's gonna be free mint. It's gonna be a huge cook.
Yeah, also I struggled to mint. It said at first I was eligible and I tried to mint, but Rabby wouldn't cover the gas fee for me. So I bridged and I came back and it said you're not eligible. And it was stuck like that. And I had to refresh about 20 times to get it to pop up. And I had to use Rabby to get that to work as well. A lot of people in their Discord can't mint. So there's an extra some alpha for you if you're struggling right now. I did see one more thing. This is a much smaller. This is kind of just a throwaway. While I was on Orbiter, it looks like there's a campaign for a shitcoin on Tyco, and it's like a fair distribution, and you can get a claim if you do like 6 bridges over to Tyco. And again, you can do those from Base or ARB, and you can bridge like 0.001. So with 0.01, you can knock out 5 or 6 bridges and then just bridge it back, and the overall cost is pretty low. Again, I don't know if this coin is worth a fuck, but I just saw it on Orbiter.
Yes, sir. Great shout. As with any new like L2 or chain, it pays to be curious and early to stuff. So if you see anything, I think it would be, at least I'm going to start looking, especially in Tyco, if there's anything that pops up. Obviously the Tycoon stuff, but any other projects or maybe coins over there. I think it pays to be curious and early to stuff. If you see something quality and you see a community start getting built around it, and those are those kind of asymmetric bets where there's not a ton of downside if you just put a little bit in it, and plenty of upside as well if the chain does pop off and people get involved.
Yeah, great shout, man. The 3 I've heard the most from smart people would be Tyco, Monad, and Ton, the Telegram one. This is my first experience with Tyco, with just minting, bridging from Orbiter and then minting on their site for the Tycoons. It's not a great look, first impression, but it's a little bit of a shit show. It's a little wonky. We're probably going to be getting some tickets from people who say they're not eligible, but I mean, hey, that's what we like, right? Being early and being there when stuff is broken. So yeah, great shout, man. Being curious, experimenting, playing around. But Tyco, Monad, and Ton, man, those 3 are probably going to be the ones where there's some payoff if you're curious. Well, cool. I don't have anything else either, brother. So if you're cool wrapping it here right neatly at the top of the hour, that works for me. But I'll kick it back over to you. Close things out. Any final words or inspiration to lead us into the week here?
Yes, sir. I'm all good on my front too. Thanks again. Thank you, Ross, for chipping in. The combo as well. Excited for Boss Dogs later. See what's going on in the Ordinals and Bruin streets. Just echo again what I kind of said at the beginning. I think meme stocks have a really good chance. And then following along meme coins in general, if we see GameStop continue to appreciate in price, it's going to be kind of the key indicator over these next few days. And then also Bitcoin above levels that we're looking at above 71K is going to look real nice. And then above 74K all-time high break is going to be real nice. And I think we rip even higher from there. But for now, it's kind of wait and see mode. Hopefully we get there real soon.
Hell yeah. Well, until then, or at least on Monday at 12 Eastern, we will be back to talk about it some more. Thank you, everybody, for rolling through. We'll be around kicking NVC for a little bit, but have a great rest of the day, and we'll see y'all next week. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, y'all.